So hey everybody, my name is Mike Amico and I'm with OM System and working here with Emily, and just wanted to say hello and sort of give you some insight to a little bit about me and also maybe some tidbits about the cameras and the gear from OM System. So as far as me, I've been in the industry, the camera industry, for probably about 22 years now. It's been a while. I feel really old. But yeah, I've been in the industry for a while. I've been with a few different companies, and I've been with Olympus/OM System for about 7 years total. So it's been a big part of my career being with Olympus and OM System, and I've been really happy with the cameras. I was actually involved in the beginning of the Micro Four Thirds cameras, and one of the things I really loved about the idea of Micro Four Thirds was the fact that we were looking at a small and lightweight and compact camera system. And coming back to that system with Olympus really had me seeing some of the key points and all of that really come to fruition, and having some really powerful and compact cameras. And I've had a lot of fun the last 7 years just shooting pretty much every day with the cameras. And part of the reason for that is, the grips on the cameras have really good ergonomics. Some of the computational features like high resolution just give me a lot of fun when I'm shooting and make me want to take pictures. And that's what I really love about the system. So I always have a camera with me. Now, as far as me, I've been shooting probably since I was about 16 years old. So it's been a long time. I didn't shoot a lot. I was always pretty artistic, sort of drawing and sketching and things like that. But, my dad took me to a Sears one time and he was looking to buy a camera system. And so I went with him, every couple weeks checking out different lenses and cameras. And I really thought it was a neat process. And so I really got kind of interested in the whole camera thing. And when I was in college, I actually had photography as a minor. And they chose 10 of us to go ahead and go through the major with photography at the school, being the first 10 to graduate. So we had a lot of fun just kind of going through the curriculum. And for me, it was the electronics of the cameras that I found really fun and exciting. So kind of comparing the different cameras, and of course it's the film cameras, and I found electronics to be just amazing. And so through the years, getting into the industry on the representative end or the training end, I really got to play with those electronics more as things became digital, and as the electronics changed more and faster in the cameras. And so that's sort of a little bit about me. So one of my favorite categories is actually shooting birds, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now with Olympus and OM System. And so 6 years you might think is a lot of time, and it's really not. Again, shooting since I was 16 years old, more seriously probably in the last 7 years. And birding and wildlife is probably one of the most complicated things and hardest things I've ever shot. You need a camera to be fast and accurate. You need lenses that'll do the job. You need to have the know-how. You have to make the camera an extension of your hand. You really have to know how to use it and really use it to the best of your abilities. And so there's a lot of practice and a lot of time that comes with becoming a good birder. And of course you need to know the birds, which is something that I'm still learning. And I'm in my infancy, so I've just started to get used to the camera end. So it definitely is something that you have to really practice at. So if you're a birder and you're listening and you're new at it, don't get frustrated. So I want to give you some tips on some budget macro and going up to some of the macro that maybe I use. I do a little bit of macro and not too much. I would consider my macro more of close-up photography. I like to shoot cars. I like to shoot the emblems on cars at car shows, older cars, newer cars. And I like to shoot some of the engine bay and some of the interiors of cars, more snap shoot kind of stuff. A great budget camera for macro is actually our Tough camera. And right now we're on our TG6. I have the LG1 light guide on it, which is a little flash. Takes the LED and kind of spreads it throughout that, or takes the flash LED and spreads it throughout the LED on the camera. But you can do microscopic images with this camera. You can shoot snowflakes, you can shoot dollar bills, you can shoot the fibers on my blanket. So it's just an amazing little camera at about $500. So this is a great piece to get into macro. I personally like to have a physical, more of a camera feeling camera, more of an interchangeable lens camera. And the EM10 series, which is our entry-level series, is fantastic. And the 30mm macro is such a great addition to this camera. What I love about the EM10 Mark IV is that unlike some of the cameras that are entry-level, you have your aperture and shutter speed dial. So it feels like every other camera I have in the line. It takes all the lenses in the line. You only have one mount in the Micro Four Thirds system. And so it's nice and easy to grow from this camera. But this 30mm 3.5 macro is just a fantastic little lens. And again, the camera just mates with it so perfect. It's so lightweight, so small. I absolutely love this. So that's a great little travel, sort of small, compact entry into macro. Or if you buy an EM10 Mark IV and that's your first camera, and you buy the kit where you have a 14 to 42 lens, and then you buy a 40 to 150. You have your zoom, you have your normal lens. This is a great next lens, having a 30mm macro. It just gives you a little more to work with, something fun, something you could do on your own, and macro is always fun. The EM5 III is probably one of my favorite cameras in the lineup. And that's because you step into your weather resistance. It's nice and small and compact. You can take it on a trip to another country. You can come back and shoot birds in your backyard. It has the power of my pro cameras in a compact body. You're going to lose out on things like maybe the battery power compared to the pro camera, or maybe you can't put a power grip on it, things of that nature. But if you want compact and you want it to be the most versatile camera I have, I really think that this is a great bang for your buck. And what I love about the 5 is just that size and being able to pair it with, lenses like the 40 to 150 f4 and the 12 to 45 f4. So in the equivalence world, you basically have a 24 to 300 equivalent right here, f4 all the way through, weather resistant. You could take it in the rain. So this is a great combo right here. Getting back to macro, I'm going to jump back and forth. But my favorite macro setup would be either the OM1 or the EM1 Mark III. I love the style of the body. I love the grip on this. I could really feel like I'm holding the camera. I don't need a strap. I can just walk around with this all day. And I love the 60mm macro. That's my favorite macro lens that we have. It's weatherproof. It's, again, 60mm, so you're a 120 equivalent, and it's an f2.8. This lens combined with this camera is such a great combo for what I shoot, which is, again, a lot of cars and things like that. And then, believe it or not, the 7 to 14 2.8 Pro. I use this constantly going in the engine bay of a car. You can go right up to the car. You can shoot it, get some amazing stuff. So macro capabilities on that 7 to 14 at 7mm is just fantastic. And that's what I love to use. So that's really my combo for the type of macro that I do. If you want a great birding combo and you want to get into birding, I would start with the EM5 series. And then the EM1 series, our pro camera. The reason why is the EM5 series is going to give you the guts again of the Pro Series camera. So it's fast enough. And with birding and wildlife, you really need a fast camera. You need a camera that's accurate. And you need a camera that's going to keep up with the birds or with the wildlife. And so the EM5 is going to start you out with 121 phase detect pixels crosshair. So whether you turn the camera vertically or horizontally, you're going to capture something. When you step up to the EM1 III, now you step up to a little bit more speed. You step up to the same 121 crosshair phase detect, so same kind of focusing system, but just much more robust camera. And then, of course, the new OM1, which gives you the ability to have a whole new focusing system, a whole new sensor. So now you're at 1,053 pixels for focusing, all crosshair, covering 100% of the sensor. So, again, any of these 3 cameras, including the EM1X, any of these 4 cameras, will really get you the wildlife and get you into that. So, but you definitely want something that's going to be fast and accurate. And if you want something budget, you want to get into wildlife and really kind of keep on a budget, the EM5 combined with a 75 to 300, it's about $599 for the lens, $549. You have the camera, it's about $1,000. So for $1,500, you got a nice little kit. And that'll get you 75 to 300. The equivalent in 35 is a 150 to 600. So this is a great range. My favorite combo is actually, I love the 300mm Pro. So that's actually my favorite lens. Telemacro to 4 feet. So I can go out and shoot birds, and then I can turn around and shoot a grasshopper in front of me within 4 feet. Or if a bird lands on a stick in front of me, I can shoot him on a perch right in front of me. So I actually absolutely love the 300mm. That's my favorite. So if you want the ultimate birding system, it's really the OM1 camera with the vertical grip to give you an extra battery and also give you that ability to have vertical shots, all of your same controls here, and the 150 to 400 f4.5 Pro lens with the 125 converter built in. So you're equivalent at like 1,000mm handheld at 5.6. And this lens is really all you need in the field. It's super light for what it is. You actually have a carbon fiber hood, so it's just light. It looks big, it's not big. It's super small for what you get. And I can tell you with the OM1 and the capabilities of the ISO on the OM1, it's just a fantastic combo. If you want to travel and have a great kit that you can travel with. You want to go on an African safari, or you want to go to Costa Rica. You want to take a kit with you where you can shoot birds, shoot a little bit of wildlife, shoot a little bit of landscape. You take a 12-100 f4 Pro, and you take this lens here, and you got your kit, and that's your kit for travel. So a fantastic little kit there for birds. All right, so if you guys want to learn more, definitely check out the Get Olympus website and go under Inspiration or Learn Center, and there's actually a lot of different classes and workshops that we do, including myself, and you can find us there or even on our Facebook page. You can definitely find some different classes we have coming up. I have some classes coming up in the next couple of months, more based on the OM1 and some of the focusing and some birding tips as well. So be on the lookout for those.